Hey everybody, Rad Tekking here. Regular Tekking's out on adventure right now, so while he was gone, I figured I could do my take on this manga reviewing thing. Though, not really sure what this whole Bleach thing is about. Don't know who that is, or that. Is that a chick? Pretty sure that's a chick. Anyway, whatever. I read a different manga series. Something you might have heard of it. I don't know. It's called Toriko. It either involves other people getting the shit kicked out of them, or people eating a shit ton of food. Either way, it's totally rad. So let's read chapter 244. So if you remember from the last chapter, Naki Master Jiro showed up, and if you need a testament for how badass this guy is, he punched the earth and almost stopped his rotation. Little bit of a big deal there. Anyway, after that, he knocked off Joah's cloak, revealing Obita Uchiha. I'm just kidding, it was Froz-sama, although the other thing would be, well, that would be a massive mindfuck, wouldn't it? Okay, so a bunch of theories on exactly what Joah or Froz or she, he, I'm just gonna say it, could possibly be. And there's two ways you can really look at that. You can look at it one day being like, this is the Froz that was once the partner to Acacia that somehow managed to live an insanely long amount of time and turned evil through some unexplained method. I don't really like taking that theory there. Yes, it is true that it possesses the Cinderella knife, so that would all fit together, but we pretty much got confirmation in this chapter. I think the main thing to take away from this chapter is Setsuno talking about how this is not the Froz that she once knew and is possibly her teacher, or the one that was the god of cooking partner to Acacia, because not just going by her physical appearance and her mannerisms, or just her knife, just the way she looks and acts, and another thing we're going to get later on in the chapter states that this is probably not Froz. So I'm going to go with the second option, which this is Joah either had found Froz's body somehow, or managed to forge a new body that looks as similar to Froz, because Froz is apparently the strongest, if you're gonna go with cooking, Froz, you can't get much higher, that's like the god of cooking essentially. Same level with Acacia for the Bishokuyas. So, maybe Joah wanted to be like the best chef ever, even surpass Froz, dug up Froz's corpse somehow, or maybe he managed to create a similar one, and found her knife somehow, wherever the knife would be. You think if, let's go, I'm assuming that Setsuno was Froz's apprentice, or disciple, or student, whatever you want to do. So, with that logic, you might think that she might want to give the strongest knife, Cinderella, in the world, to her disciple, or give it to somebody important. So, I think that's the real basis where a lot of people are saying this is the actual Froz, because where would this knife be? I mean, this is just like Naruto, where Zabuza dies, and they stick one of the strongest swords in the world in his, grave for anyone just to come by and pick up. Or even like in Harry Potter, God, I'm making a Harry Potter reference in a Toriko review, where they have Dumbledore who dies, and they bury him with the strongest wand in the history of mankind for Voldemort just to come by and take. Put these important things in bag vaults. Give them to somebody else. Just don't leave them in the ground. People can dig. People can take off coffin lids. People have intelligence. So, maybe that's the basis why this might be the actual Froz, but I'm not going there because I think it's actually just more of a plot thing if Joah is just a Joah and he managed to just recreate or do a revival on Froz and possessed her body or something like that. So anyway, there's a little bit of the tiny issue with the giant hurricane natural disaster about to wipe out the entire island because, you know, Jiro is badass and punched the ground. And I know I did go back to that for a second. Punch the ground, stop the rotation of the earth. Just let that sink in for a second. I know it happened a week ago, but still, let that sink in for a second. So Joah jumps up in the air, revealing he's wearing a ballerina outfit, whatever, and cuts the entire wave in half using sky cut, god cooking ability or whatever. So, yeah, wipes out an entire natural disaster with one cut of a knife, but still, you know, punch the ground, stop rotation of the earth. Maybe a little bit over Trump there, so sorry if I'm not impressed that much. Setsuno and Jiro decide they need to confirm whether this is the real Froz or not. So Setsuno takes out her knife and uses a technique called form change to change her knife from more of a lightning bolt shape to more of a solid shape, and uses a technique called Cook Road. Then Jiro breaks out this clawed gauntlet type thing known Robo no Kiba, and uses a technique known Guinness Wolf, and basically punches the sky, stating that this attack's going to continue until it basically hits outer space. I expect no less from Jiro. So basically, I can either think of two ways these techniques work. Either they work in perfect unison together, where they both serpentine back and forth and attack Froz in the sky, or it was like Setsuno's Cook Road acted like a guide for Jiro's Guinness Punch, because of course, you know, they would work off each other because they've been partners for so long. But right about before the attack's going to hit, though, Froz's face changes into a demonic form. I'm not sure if this is just her intimidation, though from what Setsuno says later, it's actually her face physically changes, and that stops the attack right there. Setsuno's pretty much shocked shocked by this and states that although it was quite an incredible feat for her to stop the attack, and Jiro adds the fact that this level of power can only be attained when you eat Acacia's full course menu completely. And he also goes on to say that really the only two people that Jiro is aware of, remember, Jiro was the disciple of Acacia, and the only two people he knows that ate the full course of his master are his master himself, Acacia, and his partner Froz. He doesn't even mention himself, Jiro, or, himself, Ichiya, or Midora eating the full course menu. So it's even good to imply, like, even though Jiro and them are insanely powerful, they didn't even get a chance to eat Acacia's full course. That's not saying that they didn't eat any of it, and maybe that's the part where, like, where massive power comes from. Like, even maybe eating, like a single part of Acacia's full course, like maybe just the center or atom or just one part of it gives you insane amount of powers, but eating the whole thing in one setting, that's going to basically, like, max out your gourmet cells to, like, the point of you can't gain, like, completely max them out. So Jiro is actually, I think, about to confirm the fact, like, hey, maybe Setsuno, maybe that is actually Froz. I mean, everything checks out there. But Setsuno states that's not the case because the face that Froz made when she was cooking was completely different from the face that she just made just now. It wasn't a demon-like thing. It was probably more, she says it's starkly different, so maybe it was something a little bit more gentler than that. Maybe it was something just completely different in the shape. So that's basically why, that along with the fact that Froz has been dead for several years, Setsuno either is in denial and doesn't want to accept that it's Froz, or maybe through that we can accept the fact that maybe that is not Froz. You can go either way in this chapter. Like I said, I'm going to go with the fact that this is not the real one, and Joah did some weird method to get around it. So anyway, right before Froz is about to launch a counterattack, Starjyuun's awesome kick-ass dragon shows up. Still, I'm glad that thing showed up. Like, showed up, I think, way back at the beginning of the series when Starjyuun, like, first appeared, and that was, like, the most epic entrance for a villain, where he's basically riding on this huge-ass dragon, and it didn't show up after that. And I want to see what this thing can do, because at the end of this chapter, we get a basic, like, there's going to be a Starjyuun versus Joah fight in the next chapter. I want to see what that damn dragon can do. I want to see it, like, breathe, like, blue fire or some crap. Anyway, so Starjyuun shows up with Komatsu in his arms, basically reiterating from the fact of when the fight against Toriko and Starjyuun ended, Komatsu basically stated, yeah, I'll go with you, I don't care, just let me use the healing technique on Toriko to heal him, and then I'll go with you. So apparently, I thought Starjyuun was gonna, this is gonna sound stupid, but I thought Starjyuun was gonna be like oh no, okay, he defeated me fair and square, he dealt a fatal blow, I'll leave now. But no, he held his end of the deal, which makes sense why he would. I don't know, I guess I'm hardwired to believe that all shonen villains are very honorable and don't want to hurt the good guys' feelings if they get beaten bad enough. But anyway, so he takes Komatsu, and basically Froz says, oh good, you have that chef, give him to me. Now, ideas why Froz/Joe would want Komatsu, the really only good way I can bring this up is, let's remember back in the Gourmet Pyramid when Joah entered it after the Four Beast attack and he was looking for that special cookbook that the Nitros made and that was missing. That's a big reason why I think he could want Komatsu, because Komatsu probably read the whole thing by now. He probably memorized it to a point where he can just, because Komatsu has like a photograph memory when it comes to cookbooks, he said that. So that could be a reason why he wants Komatsu. That could also be a reason. There could be other ones, not really, that maybe not obvious right now. His ability just for food luck and hearing the voice of the ingredients, that would make sense. But a little problem here, Starjyuun does not want to hand Komatsu over. Oh, by the way, Froz also mentions here that Starjyuun is a vice sous chef of the Bushoku Kai, but also is the second in terms of power. The first, obviously, probably being Midora. This is very interesting because we saw that epic brawl between Toriko and Starjyuun, and I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, man, damn, there are at least like 3 or 4 people that are ahead of Starjyuun in this organization, like by the ranks, not including Midora. I mean, we have Alfaro, who is the Garcon, or basically personal assistant to Midora. There's Niancy, who's like the assistant to the executive chef. There's the executive chef. There's the head chef, Kuromadari. There's like, yeah, that many people, not even including like the Sommelier, Laimon, or wherever those ranks hold up. But when you're just going by the fact that Starjyuun is a vice chef, we also have the head chef, and executive chef, and the assistant to the boss, and then the boss himself. So it's very interesting, learning that Starjyuun is the second in term of power, because seeing that battle with Toriko, I'm just like, if there's like 4 people stronger than this, even after all that techniques that Toriko learned, he still could not compare to Starjyuun in the end. Really, he could not. So It's good leveling it out, though, that he's the second strongest, because that makes at least Toriko's abilities seem a little bit more close. So if Midora is first, Starjyuun is second, Toriko could easily... He was almost there. I mean, he was a little bit less than Starjyuun, but he was almost there. You could say he's third in terms of power when compared to the Shokukai standards. Anyway, so Starjyuun basically says, no, I'm not handing Komatsu over, and Froz just gives this epic look of, oh, okay, you're gonna fucking die then, and Jiro and Setsu look on at this epic battle that's sure to unfold, and then the chapter ends. So, there you go. Toriko chapters are not very long in general. Most of them either are filled with awesome techniques or, badass art, so that was pretty cool there, of course. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little review. As I stated before, next chapter, probably going to involve some epic fight. I really hope they do something with that dragon. I know we have Starjyuun, who's, Starjyuun's all beat to shit already. I mean, it basically comes down to, even if you were to compare Joah to Midora, which, by the way, I think Midora is going to show up pretty soon. If not, he's already there. Maybe he's already there disguised as somebody else. That might be a thing, because why would Midora miss out on this? Midora might be around and show up. I would say Midora and the Joah/Froz, they would be on similar levels, but Starjyuun maybe at full power, but at the same time, he got beaten to crap by Toriko pretty good, and even though Komatsu might have healed himself using the the healing cut technique, he still looks pretty worse for wear. So if they do start an all-out brawl, I don't think Starjyuun will win. I don't know how this is going to end. It's probably going to have a fight, and my theory is maybe Midora or somebody else is going to show up and interrupt the fight. Then again, Jiro's also there. Ichiya's in the gourmet world, I guess. But something's going to happen. There's going to be some other huge shocker, and I know the way these chapters are going, it's like shit's going on, and then all of a sudden somebody shows up and it just got more real, and that's happened like 4 times by now. But I think it's going to happen again. I don't think we're done with this yet. I think this is not even going to be the climactic battle. We still have a lot of unanswered questions and a lot of people that need to show up. So, yeah, it's going to be cool, guys. Tekking101. So, yeah, it's going to be cool, guys. Rad Tekking signing out. Man, this is awesome. Maybe I should do this every week. Oh. What the hell was that?